What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the 5th studio album by Mayday Parade, a pop rock and pop punk band that have been kicking it for about 10 years now. This new album is called Black Lines, and it was led off by the single Keep in Mind. Transmogrification is a new technology, and from what I understand that's from a comic strip that I'm not familiar with. That's what it was taken from, and along the lines of Black Lines, I suppose I should say, the band wanted to create something that felt like more of a full band experience, something that was a little bit different from what they had created in the past. Now, I've never been a huge fan of Mayday Parade. Straight up, I've never really enjoyed one of their albums. I think they're very single heavy. They've got great songs like When I Get Home You're So Dead. I like Ghosts off of the last record, Monsters in the Closet. But every time I go to dig into one of their albums and look at the deep cuts, there's just a bunch of meh moments for me, and I know that I'm not the only one that feels that way. I've discussed it with friends and fellow critics and that sort of thing, and a lot of people seem to agree with me. Now, I know they do have a very, very big fan base, it seems like, because I've gotten 100 requests for this album, if not more. Seriously, you guys have piled it on. I wasn't even going to cover this album originally. But with Black Lines, I do feel like the band has put forth some of their best material to date. Something that I wasn't exactly expecting, but at the same time, there's things that just don't work still, so let's dive into that. Like I was saying with Black Lines, I do feel like there was more of an attention to detail crafting, some interesting bass lines, some anything but ordinary guitar work that actually makes some of these songs pop out to the listener, but at the same time I can't totally compliment it because there still are some tracks that I'm just not on board with. I mean, even though I can definitely tell that the effort was there, it doesn't mean that they always pulled it off. I see Mayday Parade as a band that definitely has their shtick, and they often don't break from a formula. I mean, they play emo-dipped pop punk and pop rock music, opting to write ballads aplenty instead of driving forward with themes other than relationships more often than not. While they do manage to cut their way out of said box a lot of the time, the box that they've put themselves in over the years, it still wasn't quite enough. The lead single, Keep in Mind, Transmogrification is a new technology, felt like a band on cruise control at best, with overproduced vocals kind of hanging over a decent instrumental, which is a shame because I really do like the track. I mean, I hate that it comes off whiny because I really do like the guitar and drum performances, especially on this track, and kind of how they work together in the outro of the tune especially. It's kind of interesting to me that they chose that song to represent their album because I really don't feel like there's a lot of songs that feel similar in terms of their sonic appeal. Sure, you've got the slow building Narrow, which definitely takes its time before it erupts, but look at the opening track. One of them will destroy the other, that rocks harder than anything I've really ever seen Mayday Parade do in their entire career. It's got these extra vocals from Real Friends' vocalist Dan Lambton. He shows up on the track, definitely adds an extra flair there, adding to the angst-filled rage that definitely boils over here, seemingly commenting on frustration with not being able to move on with a relationship. But I feel like maybe it's not just a commentary on that. Maybe it's them being a little bit self-aware. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but I almost see it's like them being a little bit self-aware here. Like they're realizing that they've kind of been stagnant for a while now and they needed to mix it up. The rock doesn't stop there though. Hollow cooks up some solid and crafty bass work on the track, and then some edgy guitars that almost give this a slightly dark tone. It's really creative. I definitely have to give the band that. Giving respect where it's due, I like how this band's attention went to molding standout instrumentals more often than not on this LP. I mean, you can hear these crisp bass lines coming through that sound really good, and I like the guitar work. It sounds anything but mundane, which is a complaint I've definitely had with them in the past. I mean, on that last record, Monsters in the Closet, you could definitely see that they were onto something, but they didn't quite improve upon the past necessarily. It's just like they were starting to kind of have the idea bulb go off in their head. I'm not going to knock Derek Sanders as a vocalist. I definitely do think he has talent, and I know there's a lot of people that love his style that he brings to the table, but honestly, I just don't feel like he has that big of a presence behind the mic. I mean, if not for the standout shining guitar work and the pumping bass on tracks like Letting Go, there's no way I would call those my favorite tracks on the album. I feel like you either love him as a vocalist or you're just kind of indifferent to it, and that's how I feel on about half of the songs on this record. I don't think they're necessarily bad in the vocal department, but I just couldn't care less half the time. I really don't like it when this band tries to convey a sense of urgency or a sense of emotion that just isn't there, like they're pleading for someone to listen to them and take their advice, but it just feels like a band cruising through, going through the motions. Until You're Big Enough is one of those tracks on this album that just feels like as standard Mayday Parade as you can possibly easily get. It lacks the charisma that I saw them bringing to the table on a good handful of the songs on Black Lines. As much as I may like aspects of a fair amount of these songs, there's nothing on Black Lines that I absolutely love, and that's the problem that I've had with Mayday Parade in the past. I do think that this album stands out a bit more in their discography, but I just don't know how memorable it's going to be 2 months from now when you've got a sea of music surrounding you, wanting your attention. I just don't think that this album wanted it bad enough. There are songs that I definitely do like. I think it's a likable album overall as a whole, and I think that a lot of people are going to click with it, but me personally, I can't muster up more than a 3 for Black Lines by Mayday Parade. So if you've heard this album, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Keep in mind this was all just my opinion, and maybe smash the like button while you're down there and subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. If there's other reviews you'd like to see me tackle, let me know about them with a comment down below. You can click right here if you want to see my second channel, or you can check out the last review that I did right over here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon right here on ARTV.